How do you handle comments about your illness, maybe from friends or colleagues, when it's not the time to educate them or get into an argument? But on the other hand, you don't want to minimise your illness. This is a very practical short video that's going to look at 7 situations with 7 suggestions about how to handle them. So let's dive in. But you don't look sick. Have you heard this one? I think it actually reflects usually a genuine confusion that the person has a belief that to be sick you need symptoms, and then they look at you and they can't necessarily see any symptoms. And occasionally it's just meant as a sort of kind encouragement. My favourite answer is, "Thank you, I'm trying to look after my health."
Have you tried this treatment I read about where you have cold baths during the full moon?
Or,
"Are you taking this new miracle supplement?"
and this is another difficult one because generally this comes out of a desire to help you, even if they don't know much about your illness. And it's a lot more complicated these days because on social media there are so many different approaches to health. These are simple answers that work. "Thank you for your suggestion. I'm happy following the guidance of my medical specialist." Or this version: "I'm finding that what works best for me is to follow my medical specialist's suggestions, as they're really up to date and across the research." My friend's mother-in-law had the same thing and they're fine now. And again, I think this is meant to offer encouragement. It has a kind intent, but it does stop you from talking about the seriousness of your illness. And I think it also protects them from having to deal with the reality of your situation. And it's another tough one to answer, so where you want to be honest and not get into an argument. Here are a few answers I use. "Thank you, that's good to hear. I'm taking it one day at a time." It's interesting how everyone's illness journey is so different. "Thank you. I know that scientists are looking into why we all respond so differently." "You're just lazy." Or, "Maybe if you did some exercise, you'd feel better. You're overprotecting yourself. You should try harder to get better." Ouch and ouch. This really hurts when you're trying so hard, and if it were that simple, you'd be doing it. I think this one reflects the person's frustration that you're not getting better, and their own deeply held belief that the way you handle illness is through basically pushing through, soldiering on, doing exercise, keeping on with your job. They really haven't understood. So some answers. "I appreciate your concern. I used to think that, but I've discussed exercise and different activities with my doctors, and I followed their advice. I've tried various approaches, including exercise, under medical guidance. Unfortunately, it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. I wish I had as much time off as you do, or perhaps indirectly. You do have a lovely tan." And again, I think this is a true statement about how they're feeling. I mean, when people are busy or they're not enjoying their job very much, the idea of time off seems really attractive. But they're seeing this as a holiday and they're not appreciating the reality of your illness, the frustration and the difficulty of living with your symptoms. This is a challenging one and it's hard not to push back a little. I think the simplest is just to smile and change the topic. But here are a couple of fairly gentle answers. "It must look wonderful to you, but I'd much prefer to be living my old life. I'm good at Netflix and naps, but it's not as much fun as it sounds."
"We all feel tired at times."
Yes, this is true. Everybody feels tired at times. But again, it probably means that they don't understand that your tiredness feels different and that it probably doesn't go away. It's a problem with English that we use the word tired to describe all sorts of different situations. And then we assume that the situations are the same because we've used the same word. If it's not the time to educate them, then I think acknowledging that, yes, modern life is tiring, and then just moving the conversation away from you works. "Yes, you must get very tired at times with your new job," or perhaps some slight education. "You're right, everybody experiences tiredness, but this feels different and doesn't really go away." "How are you?" This is actually not a negative comment, but it can be a difficult one to answer. Most people use how are you as a social greeting. They're not really expecting a detailed answer, and often they don't even listen to your answer. So in this situation, something that is simple and doesn't open up the conversation works. Much the same, I'm enjoying the warmer weather. Or, I'm about the same, how are you? It has been a bit up and down, but I'm looking forward to today. Did these comments ring a bell? How do you answer them? Please let me know in the comments below. In the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing another video about why people find it so difficult to understand and accept chronic or longer term illness and ways in which you can manage this. And please click to see my latest upload.